I will watch this. This has been nuts.
Protests on behalf of Mexico have broken out across Los Angeles, completely blocking the busy 101 freeway.
Look at this. This is insane.
Surrounding the unlucky commuters caught in the middle.
What are they doing, man? Where is the police? You have to deport them all? I mean, most of these people are just citizens, right? I mean, they're citizens causing trouble. Like, they're not illegals. I mean, because that's not how it works. Like, I know that that's the way some liberals see it, is that, you know, like, oh, well, if you deport Mexicans or illegal immigrants, you're not going to have any more tacos. Like, every person from that's Hispanic heritage is an illegal immigrant. No, most of these people probably went to school in LA, were born in LA, their parents were in LA. That's it. So no, that's not how it works.
As we're now seeing flags from everywhere of the places they allegedly don't want to be.
Yeah.
So downtown LA is brought to a standstill in every direction. And local law enforcement has now called it non-permitted.
Yeah, no shit.
And when the police finally did arrive, it took them until night to actually do anything.
See, they gotta take some of these people, like, what I think the police should do is they should, like, kind of do, like, a, like, tic-tac-toe, something like that, where, like, you just randomly pick out people, and then, like, you go and you, like, put them in jail for a long time for this. And I bet if you did that for a few times, and, like, you really prosecuted them kind of at random for, like, all of them committing the crime, it would stop this from happening. Look at him go. Look at him go.
Until LAPD deployed the tactical shaman.
The tactical shaman?
And then the protesters immediately retook the freeway. I'm so sick of seeing this type of protest that I honestly think everybody on that freeway needs to see 6 months in county. This whole culture.
I agree. I completely fucking agree. Absolutely fucking based. I am so sick of these fucking people. They are so annoying.
Of whenever activists get upset, they're just allowed to hold the citizens captive has to stop. Haven't already, make sure you're subscribed for more clips like this, because I left that stupid city, as whenever a war broke out overseas, they had to stop all freeways. The Supreme Court returns a decision back to the states, which will have zero impact on California. Block that same freeway. A guy dies across the country and you want to blame all cops everywhere? Guess nobody gets to go to work today. Or basically anytime the orange man does something, feel free to unlawfully block.
Yeah, this is insane. Like, you can't just block the road. This isn't about freedom of speech, it's about freedom to assemble. I mean, like, if like, we're talking about people standing in the middle of the highway. What are we doing? What are we talking about? These people standing in the middle of the highway shutting down traffic. That's not how it works.
Me in my vehicle. And notice in all 4 of those protests, none of the signs, shouting, or social media posts accomplished a single thing. And yet, the police seem to conveniently look the other way when actually sentencing these idiots to any significant time behind bars.
And that's the reason why they keep doing it. That's the exact reason. They keep doing it because they're getting away with it. And the moment that people like this have consequences, it immediately goes away.
I can guarantee you, if they gave them their disbursement orders, and the remaining 50 idiots on the freeway refused to take their protests peacefully to the pedestrian sidewalk, then they got locked up and lost 6 months of their life in the Twin Towers Correctional Facility, suddenly nobody will think blocking the 101 is such a good idea anymore.
Exactly. Yeah, you put a few people in jail for this and it stops.
And is this an insanely harsh punishment? Of course it is. But it's not like they're randomly picking out activists from a list to make an example out of them. We're just setting up a system called consequences, aka the justice system. So hopefully Los Angeles can rediscover it someday. And it's bad enough they're waving the flags of a country they're protesting being sent to, but also burning the flag of the country they're demanding they stay in. What a confusing worldview to have. It's always America bad, but simultaneously, I demand to live in only America. As all the way down to the border in San Diego, they're also blocking the streets for the same protest.
citizens.
Almost everywhere in Southern California is simply allowing this to happen, as if there's some sort of acceptable level of stopping the streets, when it should be zero, because when this is just allowed, it's only a matter of time before an ambulance gets stuck on the freeway, or like what we saw in Texas, an Uber driver ends up popping a protester. As over in Idaho, we're already seeing Americans fighting these forces flying foreign flags.
This is the problem, right? Is that you have this happen, and then you have these disruptions and these interactions, and then they get violent. This is why you need to have police, is to prevent things from people from getting hurt. You can't have that.
I guess I'm not leaving as soon as I thought.
And not even the cops are safe, as in Salem, Oregon, they began smacking his squad car.
Oh. I don't think they're doing anything like super wrong. Like they're not really hitting the car or anything. Deport? Yeah, you cannot have this shit. Yeah, you can't have this.
And again, all of this.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. Like, yeah, you can't let people do this.
Can be fixed if everybody that vandalized that police vehicle got the book thrown at them.
Yeah, exactly.
It might not be Munson County, but whatever appropriate fine actually being applied would be a decent start, as these people genuinely think there are absolutely no consequences to not only brazenly breaking our laws, but recording, posting, and boasting about nobody being able to stop them. And at this
that's because they won't stop them.
Test is to convince us that they should be allowed to stay. It's not working, it's just reassuring us that this needs to happen, as the argument against it is, it's making all these workers not show up to their jobs.
Ya toda la gente que trabajaba aquí, unos están espantados, no quieren venir a trabajar, otros ya se los llevó migración y así es como los negocios empiezan a quebrar.
No immigrants gives you this.
I think that, you know what this should mean? I think this is a really great argument for holding these companies accountable for employing people without checking their credentials and making sure that they were citizens. Like, if they were willfully and intentionally hiring illegal immigrants, I feel like this Chipotle, wherever the fuck this is, needs to pay a big fine. Yeah, when does that happen? Because, like, I don't like how... Because you got to keep in mind, like, you think about it, like, why do illegal immigrants, illegal aliens come over? Well, they come over because these companies are hiring them. So the companies are the carrot. I don't blame the people who are coming over. Like, if I lived in Mexico, I would try to illegally come to the U.S. too. Because, like, it's better here than it is over there. Or, like, wherever they're coming from in South America. Sure, I understand it. But these companies are the real beneficiaries. And they're the ones that are creating the carrot that causes all the people to come here.
Whole bunks of mad faces and dishes stacked and nothing ready.
I mean, to be fair, this could just be Chipotle.
This is just like how their movement simultaneously argues, America bad, but don't make me leave. This is the same side that shrieks over low wages and a housing crisis, but if all these legitimate businesses are suddenly seeing 90 to 100% of their workforce disappear due to illegitimate citizenship, it seems like we might have...
Then they have an illegitimate business. If the only way that your business can make money is if you don't pay people a working wage and you only hire people under the table to avoid paying other types of fees, then you don't have a viable business. It's that simple.
A lot more people here than should be. And you know what depresses wages? Importing cheap labor. You know what creates a housing crisis? Importing millions more into an area with a finite amount of housing. And of course, both of those have solutions that can alleviate the issues, but it's like they're literally trying to argue both sides of the coin. And their only solution is to give the government more of our money, because somehow that will solve anything. But finally, Trump was elected, and immediately began militarizing our border.
Thanks fucking God.
Can you assess your work so far?
Well, look, I looked at the numbers this morning, Maria. The crossings on the border are down 93%. President Trump is a game changer. No one has had the success he's had on securing the border. He clearly understands we can't have strong national security if we don't have border security. We need to know who's coming in, what's coming in, where it's coming in, why it's coming in. And we have achieved a success on the border already. We got more work to do. And on top of that, as far as the deportation operation, we're just shy of, I think we got 5,000 already arrested the first week.
This is kind of crazy here that the cartels authorize the use of weaponized drones, explosives against CBP personnel and U.S. law enforcement down there at
I'm sure that's going to work out really well for them. Yeah, I'm sure that's going to end very well.
Southern border. Yeah. Now they're actually being encouraged, of course, to remain cognizant and vigilant, but they're also being encouraged to use their long arms, Blake. I have never seen this in a CBP memo before. They say, where's your ballistic gear?
Drones? Yes. This got out of hand so fast that the normie liberal activist doesn't even realize they're flying the flag of the forces that may be going to war with our military. As throwing a brick through a Starbucks for social justice is one thing, but being seen as an enemy combatant might put them in an entirely different category. But hopefully it doesn't come down to that. And one last thing. As this so-called deportation document is spreading through social media, where many men are memeing and changing their minds about the whole
Look, I mean, I'm not saying that he's totally wrong.
Situation. But this isn't even a good hoax, as you should have been able to spot that even without the AI
Wait,
detector.
it's fake?
I know it was mostly jokes, but we gotta be better than that. So if you appreciate my concise, lighthearted commentary on the tragic status that is today's reality, hopefully I've earned your subscription, and we can chat again soon.
Yeah, it's crazy to see these people do it, man. It really is. And I don't know what the fuck to say. They aren't SJWs, they're terrorist sympathizers. I mean, I just think that it's really simple. You just can't let people get in the middle of the road and impede traffic and stop people from going around. I mean, if you have a public space, you're entitled to be able to protest in that public space. But if that protest takes away other people's ability to use the public space, then now you have a problem. I think that most people would be totally fine if these people were just sitting around on, like, the side. Like, you know, for example, like, you see some of these people that are on the edge here, like, that doesn't matter. Like, you can do whatever you want. But, like, if you're going around and you're stopping cars and you're causing people to not be able to go where they want to go, that's a huge problem. And you can't have people doing that. It's a mob. It's not protesting. Yeah, exactly. I feel like there are some cases where that probably would be true too. But I don't know. I think that more and more people are feeling like they just want to see people like this put in jail. And I totally agree with them, and I totally support it. And I hope that I hope the government does start calling in, you know, like I don't know if they can do National Guard for something like this, right? But just totally getting rid of these people.